A very good day to all. I welcome you all for the lecture series on basic civil and mechanical engineering. So this series consists of casting, IC engines, followed by this power plant. So far we have covered basic casting process, interdisciplinary concepts in mechanical engineering. And in the last lecture series, we discussed about IC engines. So now we will discuss about various types of power plants. So as a part of this lecture series, first we'll start with the steam power plant. So hope you have seen this image somewhere. These two towers you would have seen in various movies. So basically what it describes is that it is a cooling tower which is present in a power plant. So before getting into steam power plant, let us get to know about the power plant. What is a power plant? So power plant is you can say it's an instrument or a industry. You can describe it as an industry. So it is used to convert some form of energy into electrical energy. So the main part here is any form of energy can be converted into electrical energy. So the setup where we are doing that, it is called as a power plant. For example, if you use coal, burn coal and produce steam, then it can be used to run the turbine, which can be in turn used to run the generator, which can produce electricity. So this entire setup is called as a steam power plant, which is what we'll be seeing in the subsequent slides. So if you use solar energy to produce electricity, it is called a solar power plant. If you use the potential energy and the kinetic energy of water, it is called as hydroelectric power plant. So based on the energy, the power plants types are named. But the basic concept here is that in any power plant, one form of energy is converted into final form is electrical energy. So keep that in mind. So now we'll get into the power plant, thermal power plant, which can be also called as a steam power plant or coal power plant. Everything refers to a power plant where coal is burnt, water is converted into steam, and that steam is in turn used to run the generator, which produces electricity. So thermal power plants constitute about 75% of total power generation in India. Its major reason being we are dependent on fossil fuels for our everyday electricity, and they produce a steady flow of electricity. Whereas if you take hydroelectric power plant or a solar power plant, it is dependent upon the weather conditions. But these power plants are steady power plants. So that's why we are using it as a constant source of electricity. So what are the major components of this power plant? So the first major component of the power plant is the boiler, followed by the steam turbine, generator and condenser. So we'll see the working of each part one by one. So this diagram would clearly explain the working of the power plant. So we'll start from the leftmost side. 1 minute, I will open the pointer. Yeah. So we can start from this part. So here, the part where fire is coming, it actually signifies the heat energy coming from the burning of coal. So when that heat energy is applied to boil the water. So what happens here is that water is being boiled inside the boiler. So the part where water is boiled is called as boiler. It is uh, quite explicitly named. And when the water is being boiled, it converts into steam. So that steam will be high pressure as well as high temperature. High pressure, high temperature steam will pass through series of pipes and it will strike the turbines. Turbines which will start to rotate. Once the turbine blades are struck by the steam, they start to rotate. When the turbine rotates, what happens is that it is in turn coupled to a generator. As you can see here, it is coupled to a generator. So when the generator is rotated, because of the EMF produced, electricity is generated. So that's the basic working principle of a steam power plant. So secondary operations are that when the steam loses its energy, it is again converted into water through a condenser setup. So condenser, what happens is that it will convert steam into water. So there are two main parts here. One is the boiler. Boiler converts electricity into, boiler converts water into steam, whereas condenser converts steam into water. So this is a schematic diagram of the power plant which we saw earlier. Various equipments are used here. So one thing I would like you to mention here is that there is a pulverizing plant mentioned here. So what happens in the pulverizing plant is that it will turn the coal into fine powder. The reason for turning coal into fine powder is that whenever you turn it into a powder, its surface area increases. So when the surface area of the coal increases, it burns completely. So that's the reason we are using a pulverizer. So other than that, different parts are mentioned here. So coal handling plant, if anyone of you, if you had the opportunity to visit the Neyveli region, you would have seen these large coal handling plants. They would dig the coal from the soil and they would be transported to the boiler. So pulverizing plant, as I said, it is used to powder the coal. And the cooling towers, the condenser is situated in the cooling tower. In the first slide, we saw that cooling tower. So the purpose of cooling tower is to convert the steam. Once it loses energy after striking the turbine, that steam will be converted into water, which again be reused through the boiler setup. So that is regarding this. So this is a beautiful picture of the turbine. As you can see here, these blades, each blades will be struck by the steam. They are designed in such a way that when they are struck by steam, they start to rotate. So that's the beauty of this power plant. So thank you, students. We'll see you in the next lecture video.